Time for the second part of the double header here at Brands Hatch for the historic Formula Ford 2000 Championship. This is how they will start. Andrew Park, the multiple race winner this season from pole, alongside the Class B racer Tom White. Graham Ridgway and Andy Storr on row 2 ahead of Stephen Glasswell and David Walton. Eric Bailey and Richard Atkinson Wills. Fraser Collins and John Stapleton complete the top 10. Jeremy Kane, Jennifer Ridgway, Greg Robertson and Jeffrey Onion should be going behind. Graham Ridgway will be our chauffeur for the start of the race. Red lights are on. Lights go out after a long hold now. Good job there from Tom White. Can he do anything about Andrew Park going down to Paddock Hill Bend? It doesn't look like it, although he looks to the inside, but no, it looks good for Park as they turn through Paddock. Look, we've got one driver running out wide there. That looked like Richard Atkinson Wills, I think. A big look up from Tom White heading into Druids as he tries to chase Andrew Park. He's going with him by the looks of things. They head into Graham Hill Bend. And, run out wider. That's Andrew Storer. Jennifer Ridgway's made a good start, hasn't she? She's right on the tail there of David Walton, heading down towards 30. That's where Tom White is as he clobbers the curbs, trying to chase Park, but Park already starting to pull out a margin. They exit Clearways and head on to Clark Curve to complete the end of lap 1 of this 15-minute race for the HSCC Historic Formula Ford 2000 Championship. Hope they get a full distance this time after the early checker earlier on. So there's Park turning his way through Paddock. Second is White. In third is Ridgway. Fourth is Stephen Glasswell. Fifth is Eric Bailey. There's sixth place, Andy Storer. Then we've got Dave Walton ahead of Jennifer Ridgway in 8th position. So now here's Andy Storer. We're on board with him, chasing the Eric Bailey car down towards Graham Hill Bend. We look down the inside later on the brakes there with Storer, and he goes through, trying to fight back is Bailey, and loose a tail heading down the Cooper Straight. This is a replay of the opening lap. On board with Storer, he was 4th coming out of the hairpin behind Graham Ridgway. He'll brake late onto the grass, went Storer. He managed to get the car slowed down and back onto the tarmac, only losing 2 positions. That could have been a lot worse. Andrew Park, race leader. Tom White is in second. Third is Graham Ridgway. Stephen Glasswell trying to go after him. In fifth is Andy Storer. Sixth going out wide is Bailey, just ahead of Walton and Ridgway. Rounding off the 14 runners there is Jeremy Kane and his Lola. Through Graham Hill Bend they go. Ninth back, starting to come together nicely. Leading that is John Stapleton in the Super V. Battle of the 4th here into Clearways. This is Stephen Glasswell. He's being caught by Andy Storer. Storer who had that off on the opening lap, coming strong now. Down into Paddock then. Looking to the inside here is Storer. Glasswell leaving a car width there for him to come if he wanted to, but it was a bit late there for Storer to he was taking a real challenge. He could run the outside of Druids. This is much more on. He's up level now with Glasswell. If he can stick round the outside here, be on the inside of Graham Hill Bend, but that didn't happen. So Glasswell continues to run in 4th. He's defending, but Storer puts the car down the inside into Graham Hill Bend. Has he got that done? No. Glasswell carried his speed around the outside of the corner. How about for 30s? Because still alongside is Storer. 2 cars and then run side by side and through. Andy Storer up into 4th position. He's got quite a fair gap now though to Graham Ridgway, and with Ridgway beat him in the earlier race, that gave Ridgway second place in the championship. It's a tight battle between the pair. Already champion is Andrew Park. Second in the race is Tom White, and there is Graham Ridgway third. Storer, can he close this gap in? It's a large one. In 5th is Glasswell. 6th and 7th, that's Bailey and Walton, and Jennifer Ridgway is next up. A great job by Tom Smith and the TS Motorsport Historic team to fix that car after the incident that Ridgway was involved in earlier on. Here's Graham Ridgway turning his way through McLaren and onto Clearways. We're on board with him and past the Brands Hatch buildings onto the Bradham Straight, a gap that Tom White has really pulled out in these opening few laps to Ridgway. Tom White coming on really strong in the second half of the season, running in second place, but No one able to touch Andrew Park. Nose to tail battle in here as David Walton's gone round the outside of Eric Bailey to gain a place. Jennifer Ridgway now under pressure from John Stapleton, who's looking down the inside. Behind you've got Fraser Collins, Richard Axon Wheels and Jeffrey Onion. They're having a good scrap. Here's Tom White heading down to Clearways. Andrew Park continues to lead the motor race. It's in number 27 Reynard. There's the Osella of Tom White. And in third place the Royale of Graham Ridgway, sparking as he hits the dip at the bottom of paddock. There's Walton now pulling away from Bailey after getting past. Who's up next? Well, this is the Ridgway and Stapleton battle as they turn their way through Paddock Hill Bend. Behind Collins, Axon Wheels and Onion. Good battle there. Tom White now heading down towards Graham Hill Bend. Through the left-hander, he's in traffic now. That's the Lola. He's got to lap of Jeremy Kane. He goes down the inside of him on the run down the Cooper Straight into Surtees. Storer on board with him now through Surtees himself, and he is catching Graham Ridgway for third position. How about this? That was a gap well in excess of 5 seconds. Great run though from Storer to catch him. Now, can he find a way through? Catching, of course, is one thing, passing quite something else. Especially in these slick and winged cars, the Formula 4 2000s of the late 70s and very early 80s. Sparks flying from Graham Ridgway's car. That looks most spectacular. Late on the brakes there is Storer into Druids. Now down towards Graham Hill Bend. The left-hander at the bottom of the hill. There's the race leader, that's Andrew Park. Back on board with Storer then. Right with Ridgway, they've got that slower car to lap. Sparks fly again. It looks even more spectacular as it's a pretty dull day here at Brands Hatch. Sparks really showing up in the poor light. Into Graham Hill Bend for Tom White. He's got poor traffic to deal with, and look at that. He's showing that the blue flags need to be shown to these slower cars to let them know that he is approaching. He dives down the inside of the first car. That's Jeffrey Onion. John Stapleton is next up, so he's lost some positions since we last saw him. What can White do then? He's in the slipstream. He pulls out up onto the high line for Paddock. Stapleton know that he's being lapped here because he sticks the inside line, although of course he's in his own battery. That's a big slide though through Paddock, and White now slips down the inside. The third car in that battle has a big twitch. That's the 33 car of Richard Atkinson Wheels. Goes through. Ridgway and Storer continue their battle up the hill up towards Druids. In the closing stage to this one now. Can Storer find a way through? This battle's going to go right to the end of this one. Down into Graham Hill Bend. Big twitch there from Storer as he tries to get the power on that bit earlier than the car he's chasing. Through Surtees now. And look at this, nose to tail. Ridgway having to defend there. Keeping his car right on the apex. He gets a bit of a twitch on now. For these fairly chilly temperatures, of course, harder to quite get temperature into the tyres. Maybe that's the reason the car's moving around a bit more than you might expect. Ridgway defending, then comes back onto the racing line, into Paddock Hill Bend. Got those slower cars to deal with. Sparks fly from Ridgway's car. How about that, right in the face of Storer. Through the hairpin then. Now heading down the hill, down towards Graham Hill Bend. Look at that, Storer's quick through there. He's right on the tail of Ridgway now. This is the final time heading into the 30th McLaren Clearways complex. Can he find a way through? He's got a good run here and he dives to the inside. It looks like Stora's got that done. Great move. Andrew Parker's already come through to take the race victory. Second place for Tom White. It looks to be third right at the end for Andrew Stora, beating Graham Bridgeway. Great drive from him despite that off on the opening lap. The results then, it was an 18 lapper and Andrew Park won by nearly 15 seconds from Tom White. Andrew Stora just beating Graham Bridgeway at the end. Stephen Glasswell beat David Walton and Eric Bailey. Jennifer Ridgway was 8th. She beat Fraser Collins, Richard Axon Wills, John Stapledon, Jeffrey Onion and Jeremy Kane. They were 13 runners. And the moment we take a look at the championship standings, with just 2 races to go at Silverstone. Andrew Parker, we mentioned, already the champion, but a great battle for second between Stora, Ridgway and White. David Walton and Stephen Glasswell will battle for 5th and 6th. We had a Colin Wright, Ben Sims, who hasn't raced for a few rounds, Mick Whitehead, and in 10th position is Fraser Collins. As I mentioned, 2 races to go at the HSCC finals weekend on the Silverstone National Circuit.